Welcome to another story made by Oracle One. In the sprawling neon-lit metropolis of New Arcadia, where skyscrapers pierced the heavens like glass monoliths and drones filled the air like mechanical swarms, technology was both a blessing and a curse. The world had long since embraced digital enhancements, immersive virtual realities, and AI overseers. Yet, nothing, until now, had dared to tamper with time itself. Leo Ward was a renegade in the city's sea of conformity. A brilliant hacker and software developer, he was regarded as a troublemaker by authorities but a genius by the underground. For years, Leo toiled in privacy, dissecting code, rewriting the laws of software, and then he unleashed something unprecedented, an app called Forward Sight. It didn't just predict the weather or sports scores. It allowed its user to see 10 seconds into the immediate future. Forward Sight was the first of its kind. Powered by a combination of quantum processors and predictive algorithms integrated deep into the city's neural network, it could pluck the most probable events from the immediate future and display them in holographic vision to whoever activated the app. It was leaked anonymously on the dark net, and within minutes, Forward Sight was downloaded by thousands: thrill-seekers, gamblers, street racers, everyday people desperate for an edge. Everyone wanted a peek at what was coming next, even if only a little. At first, Forward Sight was a novelty, a game. People used it to avoid tripping on sidewalks, to dodge oncoming vehicles, to win arguments, to manipulate stock markets, to ace exams by glancing at the trivial answers about to be displayed on their screens. Viral videos popped up everywhere. People narrowly escaping accidents by seeing them before they happened, or performing astounding feats with the clock seemingly bending to their will. But then the consequences began. The city was soon gripped by an uneasy tension, a subtle rupture in reality itself. Leo knew he had unleashed a storm. He had been warned by authorities and corporate interests to never attempt such temporal tampering. Yet curiosity and ambition had overridden caution. Now, isolated in his apartment overlooking the neon city, he watched news feeds report strange anomalies. People were acting increasingly erratic. Whole neighborhoods reported cases of temporal disorientation. Some users of Forward Sight were found catatonic, trapped in loops of their vision's repeated 10-second projections, unable to snap back into linear time. Amid these reports came whispers of a darker effect. Forward Sight was not merely displaying passive future scenes, it was creating ripples. Those 10 seconds were no longer fixed destiny but a malleable thread tangled by countless players trying to outthink each other's moves. The city's timeline was becoming unstable. The first major incident took place in the financial district. A trader named Marissa had used Forward Sight to anticipate market swings. She gained millions, but in the final seconds before her triumph, she glimpsed a catastrophic collapse in the city's energy grid. She alerted the authorities, but confusion reigned. The collapse seemed to materialize moments sooner than predicted, amplified by multiple efforts to prevent it. The resulting blackout froze New Arcadia's heart for hours. The anomaly was real and dangerous. Leo's creation had pierced the veil of time's seeming continuity, and the world was starting to fray. Worse, Forward Sight had begun to reveal things no one could have predicted. Shadows of people's futures intersecting, secrets unfolding too soon. Relationships unraveling in the knowledge of their impending fates. Trust eroded as friends and lovers saw 10 seconds ahead and made selfish choices. Crime soared, for those seizing quick opportunities, but justice was delayed as witnesses, judges, and juries fell into confusion over veracity. If you could see 10 seconds ahead, was truth even reliable anymore? The government moved to suppress Forward Sight with brute force, but it was too late. The app had splintered across millions of devices, mirrored in clandestine networks, locked behind encryption stronger than anything authorities controlled. But the deeper problem was that forward sight fractured reality itself. A secret meeting convened under the flickering lights of the underground hacker guild, the Nexus. Leo, summoned and branded both as pariah and savior, stood surrounded by an uneasy crowd. Lou, a senior resistance operative, voiced the stark truth. The app didn't just predict the future, it changed it. By overloading timelines, by enabling us to peer and peek, and then act upon that knowledge, we're creating recursive causality. Time isn't a river anymore, it's a storm. Leo's mind raced. He'd studied quantum mechanics and chaotic systems, but never fully grasped how his forward projections could trigger variable futures. Each user seeing 10 seconds ahead made a move, which in turn altered what forward sight would predict the next moment. A feedback loop spawned madness. The very fabric of causality was eroding. The solution was terrifying. Disabling forward sight meant shutting down the city's neural grid that powered it, a sacrifice that would plunge New Arcadia into technological darkness. But leaving it active risked a temporal collapse on an existential scale. Caught between these polarities, Leo reminded the Guild of one more peril. The app's leak was no accident. It had been coded with secret backdoors by corporate rivals to weaponize it, to create chaos and seize control during the ensuing disorder. They had planned to trigger specific timeline manipulations that would reshape power in their favor. Now Leo's creation was a weapon turned wild. The group agreed to one plan: locate the central quantum server powering forward sight, and install a temporal anchor, an experimental fail-safe that Leo had secretly built, designed to stabilize quantum fluctuations and lock the city's timeline into a single viable stream. But deploying the anchor would spread an energy pulse disrupting all forward sight instances, causing unpredictable side effects. The operation was a race against time. Leo infiltrated the quantum core chamber buried beneath the city's financial skyscraper, moving past biometric locks and sentry bots. His heart pounded as he placed the temporal anchor device and initiated the sequence. The world outside flickered. Digital displays shivered and glitches rippled like static across the sky. Then came the most unnerving moment. The 10-second visions displayed by forward sight didn't vanish. They looped endlessly before his eyes. His own future was repeating, a cycle with no end, a temporal purgatory. In that loop, Leo saw himself trying again and again to disable the device, each attempt failing in a new way. Memory blurred between iterations until he realized. To break the cycle, he had to confront an unseen anomaly within the app's code, the back door left by corporate saboteurs. It wasn't just a software glitch. It was a parasitic quantum algorithm feeding on temporal chaos to sustain itself. Battling the code was like fighting a living virus that twisted time around his mind. The room warped with cascading echoes, past and future merged. His hands typed furiously, trying to isolate and delete the subroutine. Moments stretched and folded inward until, finally, with a decisive keystroke, the anomaly dissolved. The temporal anchor pulsed, sending a wave of stabilizing energy throughout New Arcadia. The looping stopped. Forward sight's 10-second futures faded, replaced by linear time once more. Outside, the city sighed as neon lights bloomed steadily, holograms solidified, and digital chaos receded. People blinked, some dazed as glitches slipped from their memories like a dream forgotten. Forward sight was no longer accessible. The age of temporal glimpses had passed. But change lingered. Humanity had touched the fragile edge of time and returned transformed. Governments implemented new regulations, stronger ethics around temporal technologies. People were forced to accept uncertainty and live in the moment again, no longer seduced by the allure of the next 10 seconds. Leo disappeared into the city's shadows, his legacy both a warning and a lesson. Forward Sight, the forbidden app, had shown the horrifying possibility that even the smallest glimpse of future knowledge could unravel reality's delicate thread. The future was a mystery meant to be walked, not hacked. For more stories, like and subscribe.